Roy Haiku from Eleftheros Typos Greece. You had a lot of problems with regulatory authorities, OTE in Greece and in other countries, and German too, especially in the past. We would like to have a comment from you about the regulators and how things work in order to have a free market.
We did not have any major problem with the regulator in Romania or in Bulgaria or in Albania. We had only problems in Greece, and we still have. I think, and I will speak very frankly to you, I think that the regulator in Greece wants to force separation. And all his actions converge on this point. The regulator in Greece is pressing OTE in order so that OTE will agree to a functional separation, which we think is a very bad idea, and already an idea which has been rejected by practically every other country in Europe, and which has not worked terribly well in one country where it has been applied. So we don't foresee any quick resolution of our differences with the regulator, which is, as you know very well, putting some enormous fines on OTE. The fines of OTE in the last 2 years are bigger than all the fines imposed by all the other regulators in Europe in their own countries. We don't pay the fines, of course. Yes? All together, yes. Except for Poland, which has one. Otherwise, the fines we have had in OTE in the last 2 years, the sum total is bigger than the sum total of all the fines imposed by all the regulators in Europe, except for Poland, I repeat. It's going to continue. Also, they do not approve our products, and they do not, even on non-regulated issues, they try to impose the pricing on us. So it's going to be a tough going for OTE. In the regulatory front, we don't see light at this point. We don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. What was your other question? What was another question?
We wanted a comment from Mr. Akavan and Mr. Guidolon as well. Mr. Gabriel as well.
Compared to our experience with regulators throughout, especially Europe, I can only stress what Mr. Bloom has said. To our experience, the Greek regulator here is in a special role. Functional separation, again, is something no country really supports. And I think if you want to have the telecommunications industry as a model for future innovation, and functional separation will not lead to more innovation than without functional separation. So the countries are pretty agreed on that one, and the Greek regulators seems to have a very special role here in Europe.
I have a couple of questions. The first one is, which is a long-term strategy for Deutsche Telekom in OTE? I'm talking after 2011. You have 25%. The company is listed in the stock exchange. They don't usually, big companies have 2 listings in the stock exchanges. The second question is about the strategy of OTE in satellite communication. Does Deutsche Telekom has a position about the strategy of OTE regarding the LASAT? The third question is for the FTTH project which announced by the Greek government. Does Deutsche Telekom has a position about this project? Will OTE and Deutsche Telekom participate or not? Thank you.
The long-term strategy, we're pleased that we can really now kick off a partnership with OTE. Again, the Greek government has two put options, and let's wait and see what they will do with that over time. And no further comments on the future actions we will undertake. So we never do no speculation on that one. We're glad that we have that we have management control. Regarding the FTTH project and Hamid.
The fiber issue is a Europe-wide issue. It happens to be a bit more severe in Greece than other parts of Europe. Let me start by saying that generally, as Deutsche Telekom and as OTE, in consultation with we're all interested in deploying fiber. Fiber is something we believe has to be deployed, but the conditions have to be right. And the governments have to be realistic about how difficult it is to build a fiber business case if the governments do not support, or at least allow us to take advantage of the investments we have made, and also do not allow us to use the right technologies for the right environments. It doesn't make sense sometimes to take the fiber to the rural areas and nobody either can pay for it, or there's no need to really do that because other technologies might just as effectively meet the needs. So we are having a bit of a dialogue issue so far with the Greek government in terms of coming to terms as to what is the right thing to do. But Mr. Goulouris and his team are, on behalf of Deutsche Telekom, doing a great job of positioning our joint position in front of the government, and I'm optimistic that in the future we will come to a good solution together. But until then, the issue remains open, and we are not necessarily committed to accepting the terms that have been presented to us.
Can I add something?
No.
Yeah. Those of you who come from Greece are familiar with this plan of putting fiber to 2 million homes. This plan was supposed to be ready last September, and then it was postponed, and it's now supposed to be ready sometime late this year. We are following developments. The negative side of it is that it forces us to postpone whatever plans we had in this direction. And I foresee the time when OTE will be accused, as often, that it has delayed investments in a critical area. However, this is not the case. We would be very happy to start development in a rational way and in a business-justified way, fiber, in many areas in Greece. However, we are being stopped from doing it, quite frankly. We are not allowed to do it. Or the conditions are so vague that we don't dare to. Satellite. For the time being, we are keeping our satellite, and we are developing it. It has turned around. The company has turned around. So we don't have any immediate plans of selling it. But as you know, satellites have a 15-year lifespan. So in a year or two, we'll have to be thinking seriously what to do in the future.